up? What's up? What's going on, everyone? It's Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Welcome to my sports channel. Before I get started, I just want to say, can you guys please do me a big favor and hit the subscribe button and like this channel? I bring some of the best content out there in sports. If you like sports, you're in the right place. Let's get right to it. Let's talk about Patrick Beverley, because Patrick Beverley is making a scene these days. You know, he's doing whatever he can to make it all about him, as always. You know, he wants the center of attention. He's been an attention whore right about now, and he's running his mouth. And, at some point, he's got to get tired of flapping them gums, because that's all he's really good for. This is a guy who can't really shoot the basketball well, but yet he can run his mouth and say some of the most outrageous things that just has you laughing at him. He's a laughable clown. What more can I say? The dude's a fraud, and he's just going to the extreme. Attacking Chris Paul. Now Chris Paul is the guy he's going after. This is a guy who has insulted and criticized players with his baseless, over-the-top accusations. He was seen on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Then he was on Stephen A. Smith's show talking all this nonsense about Chris Paul. Last time I checked, Chris Paul's team went further than his. And if my memory serves me correct, this is the same guy who acted a fool after his Minnesota Timberwolves won a play-in tournament game against his former team, the Clippers, where he used to run his mouth when he was with that organization too. So that night he was trying to get back at his former team, and that was a way to do it by jumping on the scores table, doing his best imitation of Kobe Bryant, who he's no one close to being, and just making a scene out there, getting carried away over a damn victory that really was meaningless, because his team didn't get anywhere. They lost in the first round. Patrick Beverley's team got put out in the first round. So now he's talking because he wants to be relevant. He wants to be the guy that everyone talks about. He's trying to steal the headlines from these NBA playoffs, and no one really cares. No one really wants to hear from Patrick Beverley. It doesn't matter what he says, because his opinions are, baseless, and they really hold no truth. You can't really believe anything that comes out of the man's mouth. You're sitting there laughing at it because it's all nonsense and it's BS that no one cares to hear much about. Now, I will say there's some people out there that like this kind of drama. They like to hear people be honest, brutally honest. But what has Patrick Beverley been honest about? What's authentic about him? Because everything he says about Chris Paul is not true. Chris Paul is not a cone. Chris Paul just chokes in big games. Okay, I think that's a fair assessment to say that Chris Paul has not shown up in big games. This is a guy who has a horrible track record in the postseason. He's 0-5 when his team leads 2-0 in the series. So that's not a good look on his resume. But Patrick Beverley's going on TV making himself look like a fool, and you know what? That's what he is. He's a clown. He's nobody. He's a nobody who wants to be a somebody. So to be a somebody, he has to talk down on others. He has to, downgrade other people to feel good about himself. See, that's how you know this is a man who struggles with self-esteem, self-confidence. This is a man who just struggles to be himself. This is a man who's obviously miserable in life, who's very unhappy with himself. So he has to attack other people to get pats on the back and feel good about himself. You know, he obviously feels like he's doing something, and he feels like he's getting to Chris Paul. But Chris Paul is a man who has a thick skin and who's not gonna let that really get to him. You know, Chris Paul is a better person than Patrick Beverley will ever be. Patrick Beverley is a classless nuthead, a nutcase, a guy who acts a fool on the court. I mean, this guy has some history with Chris Paul. He shoved him to the floor, shoved him from behind his back. Couldn't even be man enough to stand in his face and push him, but gonna come from behind and shove the man to the ground. I mean, this guy is. I mean, people say this is what the NBA needs. They need a villain, and he definitely fits the role of a villain. But Patrick Beverley is everyone's worst enemy. People talk about him, they troll him, they call him out, and now he has the nerve to try to troll Chris Paul, who's a true floor general who makes every team that he's been a part of better. Something that Patrick Beverley doesn't do. Patrick Beverley looks intimidating because he tries to act all hard and tough, but he's not tough. He's weak. He's a weak individual to attack somebody else. He's a weak individual. He puts on this you know, he has this persona about him that makes it almost seem that he is this physical, tenacious, tough guard, but he's nothing more. He's nothing more of a bully, really. And you know, sad to say, he gets punked by everyone he guards on the court. Really, honestly, and he can't shoot. You can almost disrespect this man's shot. So maybe that's why Chris Paul is a cone to him, because you don't really have to defend him. You don't really have to guard him, because 80% of the time, Patrick Beverley's going to miss. I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm about to get back to this Warriors Mavericks game. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Peace.